time of year, a lot of farmers are out harvesting and they're seeing the seed heads of the weeds that weren't controlled. And knowing what went to seed this year will be helpful for planning our weed management program for next year. Because unlike what most people think, that a grass is a grass, there is quite a bit of difference in how they behave when treated with different herbicides. So proper weed identification, proper grass identification is really key for developing the most effective weed control program. This one here is a giant foxtail. It's a pretty distinctive seed head that resembles a bushy foxtail. You'll see there are some long hairs sticking out from the seeds that gives it that bottle brush or foxtail type of appearance. Giant foxtail tend to have long seed heads, and as a result, they just naturally droop over. And so it's one of the ways of separating giant foxtail from some of the other foxtail species that we have. This is barnyardgrass, which tends to have large seeds like we see here. The barnyardgrass seed head is compact. While it does have branches, the branches are relatively short and all along one main branch coming up off of the last of the flag leaf or the last of the leaf here. The seeds are large, quite noticeable. This is fall panicum. Fall panicum's been an increasing problem in the last couple of years in the mid-Atlantic region. At maturity, it has this wide open seed head, open panicle here that has very small seeds coming off the branches of the seed heads. One of the other characteristics with fall panicum when it gets large is that it tends to bend at the nodes. So if you look here at this stem, you can see it zigzags back and forth. That's a pretty characteristic of the fall panicum. This is large crabgrass, one of our most common summer annual grasses here in the mid-Atlantic region. And at maturity, large crabgrass generally is in the neighborhood of 18 to 24 inches. It's not one of our taller grasses. The seed heads you see here has multiple branches, but the branches are concentrated towards the top of the plant. And it has small seeds along the branches of the seed head. This is goosegrass. Goosegrass is one of our lower growing species. And it seldom doesn't get more than, say, 2 feet tall. When it's grown by itself, it grows very low to the ground, but at maturity, as it starts to produce seed, the tips of the branches will start to grow more upright. What we see here is often a single branch with a seed head on it, and from the central point, 5 to 6 branches of that seed head coming out from the central location, with the seeds very close, growing along the seed heads, along these branches. So I've got here in my hand is Broadleaf Signalgrass seed head. The seed heads of Broadleaf Signalgrass are relatively short branches with the seeds flattened along those branches. The branches on the panicle or the seed head here are along this main stem, which is different than what we see with large crabgrass, where the branching occurs all very close to the top, almost like a whorl pattern. And again, with Broadleaf Signalgrass, it's spaced out near the top of that stem. The seeds are large and they're very flat along the branches. With Broadleaf Signalgrass, we can still see those vegetative characteristics of a short leaf and that purpling in the margin areas. So this is a Texas Panicum seed head. Texas Panicum has a long, dense seed head. On each branch of that panicle, there's 2 rows of seeds that are flat along the stem. The seeds are quite large, quite visible. And even at this late stage, we can still see the vegetative characteristics of Texas Panicum with the very velvety leaf surface both on the upper and the lower side of the leaf. This is yellow foxtail, has a compact, dense, bristly seed head like we see here. Distinguishing it from giant foxtail, if you recall, giant foxtail has that very long seed head that droops over. And with yellow foxtail, you'll see where that seed head is a pale green, almost a yellowish tint to it that helps separates it from giant foxtail. So Johnsongrass has a large open seed head or panicle. If you kind of look at stand back from it a little bit, it appears to be a pyramid where it's wider at the base, narrower up at the top. There's numerous whorls of branches, and you'll see those large dark red to black seeds in the seed head as well.